Morning. Back in November, I had a shower installed in one of my bathrooms. I hated the tub. I'd always hated the tub, and it just was yucky. Let me just say that. And I'd always wanted a shower in there. So I had a guy come in. He came in with a couple of people, and it took them a week, and they installed this beautiful looking shower. And overall, I've been really pleased. Then back in February, something happened where a piece fell into the shower. Had no idea where that piece came from, but it fell into the shower. So I took a picture of it and I sent a text to the guy who, did the thing. And then I didn't hear anything back. And then I kept texting and I called his phone number and I called his other phone number. And eventually I got a message asking me if I would send an email with the piece in it. So I did. Then I didn't hear anything for a while, and I had other things going on in my life, and so I had to move on. And then last week I get a message saying that my mother's going to be coming home on Tuesday. It's like, okay, great, kind of. It's great in the fact that mom's coming home. It's terrible in the fact that they let me know last minute that she was going to be discharged and I had to come get her, but it is what it is. Anyway, I had said, there's things I got to get done. And one of the things is I got to get that piece fixed in the bathroom because now one of the doors was swinging. So I sent this guy another email and I kind of made it important. You can set priorities or emails and whatever, saying, are you going to come fix my bathroom door or do you want me to call someone else? So he writes me back, asks if he could come at 7:30 in the morning. Well, you know what? You got to get your stuff done. Come on at 7:30 in the morning. Truthfully, I haven't been sleeping much anyway. As a matter of fact, this morning I woke up at 6. So I was up. So he comes over. He basically fixes the whole thing in less than 5 minutes and it's done. Then we start talking. And he said that the problem he's had since the pandemic hit, even though, he came to do mine last year, was that he did not have enough people to help him out with the projects. A lot of people have contacted him. He does good work. But what happened is he had like a 3-man crew. It's just really the three of them. I guess he had a fourth guy who I didn't know about when he came here, but he had these guys. And then when the pandemic hit and there was problems with, people finding jobs or whatever, then it turned out that a lot of people could apply for unemployment. But unemployment pays a lot more than it did back in the 90s when I had to use it for a while. So I guess when I've been hearing about how some companies have been having trouble hiring people, I hadn't even thought about it because, I'm home with my mother. I've been self-employed since 2001. So I just hadn't really thought about it. So he said that there was this one guy who had come with him here to the house who basically 2 weeks ago just called him up and said that he quit. And the reason he quit, well, it was twofold. One, he wasn't learning the job all that well. It's hard doing house stuff. I can't do any house stuff. I mean, I can't put anything together like that unless it's a screwdriver. I'm good with screwdrivers. But like I said, trying to redo a bathroom, couldn't do it. I don't like hammers because I'm always worried about hitting myself. There's a lot I can't do. And basically what this kid was doing was he was learning the trade. And the guy told him, yes, if you really learn this trade well enough, I can increase your pay. But he was paying him $12 an hour, which doesn't necessarily sound overly bad. It was a young guy. He still lived at home. But I guess unemployment was paying $15 an hour. He decided to quit and go on unemployment. And my initial thought, I'm sitting there thinking, well, how come this guy didn't just go ahead and pay everybody $15 an hour? But he's paying his other guy who's been with him for a bunch of years $20 an hour. And because even though he's being contacted by everybody and he's booked, he's also way behind schedule. I didn't know this, but when he goes on a project, he usually has to buy everything up front. He might get some front money to buy some of the stuff because I gave him front money to buy the stuff for mine. But overall, he has to front the money. So he does that. And for a while there, I guess, because I didn't know this either, at least at the beginning of this year, he actually decided to go on unemployment so that he could have a short rest. He has to pay for workers' comp for his one worker. He had to pay for it for two people. So in other words, he is a small business owner. He's not incorporated, who has expenses just like everybody else. Yes, it cost me about $5,000 for him to do my bathroom, which to me, $5,000 for a week's worth of work is not bad. I'm thinking that's pretty good. But then he has to pay for all these other things. And you start to say, well, you know what? That is interesting, And I'm here to say that I understand that people have had trouble finding work. I mean, that I understand. But if you're someone out there who's deciding to stay on unemployment because it's paying you more than actually going to get a job and doing something, I'm going to tell you, that's not necessarily the best thinking in the world. For instance, what this kid may have been missing, actually, you know what? This is a different situation with him because the guy had to pay for unemployment insurance because it's New York State. That's what you have to do if you have employees. But he didn't have to buy him health care. But if you can get a job starting at $12 an hour, I'm not saying it's great, but I'm just saying you have that, but you have insurance coverage. That's a big deal. Insurance costs a lot of money. I pay for my own insurance through the state exchange. I don't know if every state has that. But, you have to think of things like that. For instance, this kid here, yes, he was making his $12 an hour, but a lot of times he was basically standing around watching, learning, seeing how someone else was doing it. I know that because he did that when he came here. And if he could have learned that trade, then he could have basically charged whatever he wanted to. He could have maybe gone out on his own as a new career. Back in the day, in the 80s, when I first started working at a hospital, and this is going to freak some people out, but this is just how it was, I started out at $4.92 an hour, and that was up from what I was making at the music store that I was working at when I was making $3.50 an hour. And that was depressing because I couldn't move out. I couldn't really do anything. I had no insurance coverage, and minimum wage back then was $2.92 an hour. Ouch. Ouch. However, the job at the hospital paid a little bit more money. It gave me at least a chance to start thinking about moving to an apartment, but I learned a career. And that is what allowed me years later to go out on my own as an independent consultant. And it's given me the freedom to do a lot of things. Sometimes, you have to maybe start with a lower salary that might not be up to standard in order to gain a career. Now, I don't know about fast food restaurants. I don't know about working at movie theaters or anything like that. But I think that there are some businesses where you have to think about it and say, maybe I can learn enough where I can turn this into a career, where my next job is going to pay me more money, or maybe I'll have an opportunity to get into management where I'll make more money. It's just something to think about. But remember, unemployment is not going to last forever. And if you have a shot at a job, at a pretty good job, I'm not saying take a job that's going to pay you $9 an hour in this economy. I'm not saying that at all. But what I am going to say is that if there's an opportunity for a job where you can actually learn something, learn a quill, but you're also going to get health insurance, and you're going to put away money for, sick days and vacation, different things like that, it's something else to think about. I don't get vacation pay. I haven't taken a vacation since, 1999. That's a shame. But, I've been good with that because I've traveled a lot for work. He's trying to see where my theme is going here. I'm just saying, think about all your options. Think about what's positive. Don't think just because unemployment's paying more money, I can, take this unemployment and stay at home and watch TV. Unemployment ain't a joke, and it's going to run out. And if you gave up the opportunity to get a fairly nice job, even if it paid less, for all these other benefits, you're just going to hurt yourself long term. Anyway, that's my story for the morning. I hope you all have a wonderful day.